Good afternoon, welcome. Today we're looking at cooperative learning skills in the classroom. Now, I'm sure you all undertake some form of group work in your classes with the students, and I'm sure that you have heard of cooperative learning before. So today we're going to delve into that a bit further. So some of the key things that I hope you take away from today are learning what cooperative learning is, finding out what are the benefits of using cooperative learning, and learning how cooperative learning is best incorporated into the classroom curriculum. Now, I'm sure some of you can remember the teacher-centered classroom where teachers would chalk and talk, just stand up in front of the classroom and deliver lessons. Students would be tested and graded on how much content they could remember. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, I found this a very difficult way to learn, as it was not inspiring at all. Today, however, we've moved from the teacher-centered classroom to a more student-centered environment. The teacher is the facilitator of learning, and the students can learn from one another. This mode of teaching ensures that students learn more than what they could from typical modes of learning. So, Johnson & Johnson have contributed greatly to the field of cooperative learning. They define this as a set of teachings and learning strategies promoting student collaboration in small groups in order to optimise their own and each other's learnings. So what does this look like? Well, cooperative groups allocate roles to each of the members. The group is like a system. Each member is part of the system, and each part of the system is essential. This educational approach aims to organise classroom activities into academic and social learning experiences. Tasks are completed as a collective where students work together to achieve academic goals. The students are able to share information, evaluate each other's ideas, and monitor one another's work. This style of learning promotes creativity, open-ended, and higher order thinking. Along with this, students benefit greatly from this style of learning as it allows them to practice life skills as they cooperate with one another. It promotes students' learning and academic achievement. Studies have shown that peer learning, where students have the opportunity to explain concepts and ideas, has the potential to improve student comprehension. It enhances student satisfaction with their learning experiences. It helps students to develop skills in oral communication. Cooperative learning helps students to develop skills as they learn to speak productively with one another, listen intently as they learn the value of the input of their peers. It helps to develop social skills and promote student self-esteem. There is considerable evidence that working cooperatively increases students' self-esteem as they work independently, use their autonomy, interpersonal and small group skills, and develop their understanding of interdependence. It helps to promote positive race relations. Studies on the effect of cooperative learning have shown that these teaching methods aid in the promotion of positive race relations and prejudice reductions when implemented properly. And it can lead to significantly higher test scores than traditional classes. Robert Slavin reviewed 67 studies on cooperative learning. He found that overall 61% of cooperative learning classes achieved significantly higher than traditional classes. It is clear from this that cooperative learning produces critical experiences that other learning structures cannot. As students develop real-world skills that can assist them in all aspects of their careers and social interactions. Now, as teachers, we've all heard of Piaget and Vygotsky and the theories of constructivism. Well, this is an offshoot of constructivism, which incorporates the idea that the best learning occurs when students are actively engaged in the learning process and working in collaboration with other students to accomplish a shared goal. Johnson & Johnson have identified 4 major types of cooperative learning. These include formal cooperative learning. This consists of students working together from one class period to several weeks to achieve mutual learning goals and jointly complete specific tasks and assignments. Informal cooperative learning. This consists of students working together to achieve a joint learning goal in a temporary ad hoc groups that last from a few minutes to one class period. Cooperative-based groups are long-term, heterogeneous cooperative learning groups with stable membership in which students provide one another with support, encouragement, and assistance to make academic progress. And constructive controversy. This exists when one person's ideas, opinions, information, theories, or conclusions are incompatible with those of another, and the two seek to reach an agreement. 5 fundamental elements involved in cooperative learning. In fact, it's these 5 elements that distinguish cooperative learning from other forms of group learning. They are positive interdependence. This means that the group has a clear task or goal so that everybody knows that they sink or swim together. The efforts of each person benefit not only the individual, but also everybody else in the group. Individual and group accountability. The group is accountable for achieving its goals, and each member must be accountable for contributing a fair share of the work towards the group goal. This means that no one can hitchhike on the back of other people's work. Group processing. Group members need to feel free to communicate openly with each other, to express concerns, as well as celebrate accomplishments. They should discuss how well they are achieving their goals and maintaining effective working relationships. Social skills. Interpersonal and small group skills are required to function as part of a group. These are basic teamwork skills. Group members must know how to, and be motivated to, provide effective leadership, make decisions, build trust, communicate, and manage conflict. Face-to-face promotive interactions. This means that the students promote each other's success by sharing resources. They help support, encourage, and praise each other's efforts to learn. Both academic and personal support are part of this mutual goal. Now, this can easily be remembered by the acronym PIG's face. Some ways to ensure positive interdependence include keeping resources to a minimum, dividing tasks into jobs that can't be finished unless all help, passing around one piece of paper to the group which each member must contribute to, having students learn a topic and teach them to their peers, and offering rewards if everyone in the group succeeds. To ensure individual and group accountability, have the students do the work before bringing it to the group. Choose one student at random and question them on the material the group has studied. Have the group certify the accuracy of other students' work, and as the teacher, choose one piece of work to grade. Give the students bonus points if all in the group do well individually. And observe students taking turns and orally rehearsing their information. Group processing is group members describe each other's helpful and unhelpful attributes and make decisions about which behaviours to continue and which to change. Interpersonal and small group skills, by being on time for group meetings, listening to others, by not interrupting or using language that could be regarded as a personal attack, making sure that everybody has the opportunity to speak, and by not suppressing conflict, but controlling it and disciplining it where necessary. And face-to-face promotive interaction, by having students orally explain how to solve problems, choosing one group member to discuss concepts with others, have a group member teach classmates about a topic, or having students help each other to connect present and past learnings. Although it's been proven that cooperative learning is an effective method of teaching and learning, there are many barriers that still stand in the way today. Amelia Page from the University of Canterbury, New Zealand, believes that low implementation rates are due to teachers' perceived barriers, such as students' age, lack of subject knowledge, changing pedagogy, and challenges evaluating students' achievements. Some of the external barriers to cooperative learning have been identified as institutional barriers, such as lack of organisational support, conflicting school leadership, and opposers in educational tradition. Student barriers, such as students' lack of primary social skills, behavioural problems, class size either too large or too small, and lack of available time to teach students cooperative learning strategies. Lack of professional development, such as teachers' lack of knowledge on the concepts of cooperative learning, insufficient training on integration techniques, and difficulty planning and building lessons to incorporate cooperative learning. And lack of resources, such as classroom space or insufficient time to prepare and implement suitable cooperative learning tasks. Along with these external barriers, there are also internal barriers to cooperative learning. These are barriers that affect you as a teacher, such as your preconceived attitudes, beliefs, knowledge and skills, or you may just feel that you might lose control of your class or have self-defined your role in the teaching and learning process. There are many ways in which these barriers can be overcome. Schools can provide teachers with meaningful professional development on cooperative learning practices and integration techniques. They can allocate a realistic amount of time for teachers to plan cooperative learning into their daily lessons and promote collaboration among teachers and colleagues. Universities can teach cooperative learning to pre-service teachers, which may aid in breaking resistant mentalities. Teachers can develop students' social and behaviour skills and arrange classroom furniture strategically to provide more space and foster collaboration. When incorporating cooperative learning into your daily lessons, it's important to remember that there are a number of strategies that can be used, and I'm sure some of you are using many of these on a daily basis. Some include think, pair, share, quiz, prairie fire, number heads together, the jigsaw method, STAD or group investigations. I've added an appendix to the end of this professional development for anyone who wants to go and look at some more ideas or gather some ideas for their lessons. So now I'm sure some of you are probably thinking, well, he's given us all this information on what cooperative learning is, some of the barriers to incorporating it into my class and ways to overcome that, and some of the strategies that can be used. But how do I actually implement this in my classroom? Well, you need to explain and articulate the goals and academic objectives you expect of your students, as well as the social skills you hope they will develop. Determine the group conformation. Will it be formal or informal groups? Groups of 2 to 6 students are generally recommended to obtain the best results. Assign group roles. This can assist in reducing conflict or single student dominance. It's also important to rotate group roles on a regular basis. I'll go into more details on group roles in the next slide. Choose an assessment method that will promote positive group interdependence as well as individual accountability. Monitor cooperative work. Regularly observe group interactions and progress. When you observe a problem, intervene to help your students move forward and work more effectively together. Provide feedback and reflect. In addition to providing feedback on group and individual performances, it's also useful to provide a structure for groups to reflect on what worked well in their group and what could be improved upon. Developing student roles for cooperative learning tasks is a strategy that helps students take individual responsibility for the shared group goal. By designating roles within the collaborative group, the teacher can help ensure that all team members take ownership of that group's work. Some roles may include organiser, recorder, checker, questioner, assessor, encourager, summariser, and many more. There are 5 key considerations for managing cooperative learning activities in your classroom. Managing tools. As groups will be spread out around the room, it's important for teachers to take into account class management. How will the teacher get the attention of the whole class? Well, one simple strategy is to use a bell or a clapping pattern. Classroom guidelines. The teacher must provide students with clear guidelines on how to operate in the cooperative learning environment. Targeted social skills. For cooperative learning to be successful, it's important that all students have the required social skills, taking turns when talking, listening attentively, building on ideas and clarifying opinions. If this is not the case, the teacher will need to work with the students to develop these skills and manage groups accordingly. Success monitoring is an important strategy for cooperative learning as it helps build students' self-esteem and interdependence. Individual accountability. Successful cooperative learning tasks require all individuals to participate. This means students need the required social skills, but also enough support to be able to engage and develop their capabilities. And finally, we come to assessments. There are 3 main types of assessments that are used when assessing cooperative learning tasks. These include performance assessments, product assessments, and self-assessment. Well, performance assessments are when students are assessed as they engage in real-life tasks. Things like oral presentations, display projects, dramatizations, demonstrations, debates, integrated tasks, authentic tasks, and even teacher observation are some things that may be assessed. Product assessment. Product assessment is where the students are assessed on the mastery of a process or a skill after they've made a product. So the students are assigned a project or a construction, they develop the project and they are assessed on that tangible object. And self-assessment. So self-assessment is students assessing their own work, and this is obviously a powerful tool as it allows students to critically reflect on their learning process. Well, that concludes today's professional development, and I hope you've all taken something away from it. On the next slide, you can see the references for this presentation. where you can find some more information, and in the appendix section you can also find some links to some useful websites. Thanks very much.